What's going on, YouTube? This is Matt by way of Buddhasport.com, hottest new website for MMA on the market. I'm going to do my Strikeforce Nashville predictions April 17th, this coming Saturday on CBS, obviously in Nashville. I'm going to do one prelim. I'm not going to do the entire prelims because there's a lot of amateurs on the prelim card. So we'll get right into it. First fight, we got Jason Mayhem Miller versus Tim Stout. A lot of you who aren't diehard MMA fans probably only know Mayhem Miller from his recent fight with Jake Shields and the Bully Beatdowns. Mayhem has got a lot of fights with a lot of good fighters under his belt. He trains with Randy Couture on occasion, Mark Lehman, also trains with Rampage Jackson, who's a childhood friend. Coming off a loss to Jake Shields, to where, Jake Shields, in my opinion, is a lay and pray artist. Mayhem Miller was active in that fight, almost put him away with a rear naked choke in the third round. Time ran out, so he wasn't able to finish him. He's fighting Tim Stout, who is a freestyle fighter. Technically, this is his first professional fight. If you go to SureDog.com, they got him as a semi-professional. Not 100% sure what that means, but he's got a record of 8-7. 6 of his 7 losses are by way of submission. Mayhem, on the other hand, is 22-7 with 1 no contest on his record. I don't think it's me going on a limb to say I believe that Tim Stout's probably going to try to feel him out, and Mayhem Miller's going to finish this fight either late in the first round or early second round. My official prediction would be Miller by submission, early second round. Then we got my favorite fight on this card is Shinya Okoye versus Melendez. Okoye is on a 3-fight win streak, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu judo fighter. He's a Japanese fighter. He's a black belt. He's got a 23-4 record, I believe, with a 1 no contest. This fight's actually got a lot of background to it. It was supposed to take place at Bushido 13, didn't happen due to an injury to Melendez, and was also supposed to take place at Pride Shockwave 2006. Why it didn't take place there is really unknown. For you guys who aren't diehard Japanese fighter fans like myself, Okoye is relatively unknown, but he's arguably the best 155er in the world. I mean, regarding that Penn just lost to Frankie Edgar in a very close fight, I don't regard Frankie Edgar in the top 3 in the lightweight division. I think Okoye, like I said, in my opinion, is the best 155er in the world. He amazing submissions. His jiu-jitsu is sick. He is known for having the first ever successful Gogo Plata in professional competition, the second being Nick Diaz over Gomi. And then he also has the first ever Gogo Plata from the mounted position, which has never been duplicated. He's coming off a win against Mizuta Hirota via hammerlock, which was, he broke his arm. I mean, he pretty much ripped his arm off, and you got props to Hirota for not tapping, but I mean, this guy's a submission guru. We all know that he flipped the cameras off, flipped the fans off afterwards. He was just hyped up, man. He's a young kid. I believe he's 26, 27 years old. He's fighting Gilbert Melendez, who we all know from the Cesar Gracie camp. He's a wrestler, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got a 17-2 record, 17-2, excuse me. He's avenged both of his losses, one to Josh Thompson and the other to Ishida, if I'm not mistaken. He trains with Nate Diaz and Cesar Gracie and Jake Shields, in that tough little camp over there. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and unfortunately, though, I think his best asset in this fight would be his wrestling. And he's got decent stand-up. He's got a lot of wins by TKO and KO. I think 10, if I'm not mistaken, and 1 win by submission. But he usually uses his wrestling, to wear a fighter down and maybe ground and pound him to a victory. Or, he had a pretty good stand-up war in the second fight with Josh Thompson. But I think if he's just going to resort back to his wrestling, he's going to take Okoye down, he's going to get tapped out. I'm going to say Okoye via submission, and I'm going out on a limb, submission of the night, triangle choke. I'm going to try to get real accurate on this one. Triangle choke in the 3rd round. Unfortunately, I don't think Melendez can handle the submission game of Okoye, but we'll see. Another intriguing fight on this card. This card is stacked, and if the Fedor fight was still on this card, I mean, it would have fight of the year, or excuse me, card of the year written all over it. King Mo Lalo versus Gegard Mousasi. Gegard Mousasi is personally one of my favorite fighters. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's really cerebral. He's really focused fighter. He's kind of got a mind state of a Fedor. And King Mo is an amazing wrestler. At one time was touted as the best collegiate wrestler in America. You know what I mean? In America. You know what I mean? That's huge. I mean, we're known for our collegiate wrestling, whether it be Greco-Roman or, just standard collegiate. He's got 6 fights. 6 of them were all wins. 5 of them were by KOs. And you're thinking, well, what happened in the other fight? It was a decision, and, you can try to knock him for that. But he tore his ACL in the first round. The kid tore his ACL in the first round, finished the entire fight, and won the fucking fight. I mean, the kid's a beast. He disposed of Mark Kerr after knocking his mouthpiece 25 feet across the ring. Like, he demolished him, basically killed the guy. And then he beat up Mike Whitehead pretty well. And I believe that was his last fight. His last 2 fights totaled 3 minutes and 31 seconds. But he's fighting Gegard Mousasi, who's a judo kickboxer. He's got a record of 28-2-1. He's on a 15-fight win streak or something stupid like that. This is his. He's the first ever Dream middleweight champion, and he's a current Strikeforce light heavyweight champion. Excuse me. He's got wins over Babalu, Sokaju, Mark Hunt, Dennis Kang, Melvin Manoff. Just to name a few. This is a really tough fight to call because I think King Mo is the truth. I really think he's the real deal. But I think Gegard Mousasi is, in my opinion, top 3 best light heavyweights in the world. Man, normally I have these picks picked out before I even record these videos, and I'm down to the wire. I still don't know who's going to win this fight, and I still don't know who I'm going to pick. My heart's with Mousasi. I'm going to go Gegard Mousasi. Decision. I don't think he can finish King Mo. So I'm going to go Gegard Mousasi via unanimous decision. Still don't feel that confident about it. It's a rough fight to tell, and I really don't know what's going to happen. But, it's going to be an awesome fight. Awesome card. Move on to the main event. Hendo, Dan Henderson versus Jake Shields. Hendo is a Greco-Roman wrestler with a 25-7 record. He holds wins over, arguably some of the best fighters in the world. Bisping, Rich Franklin, Nogueira, Vanderlei Silva, Ninja Hua, Babalu, Alan Goes, Gilbert Ivo, Carlos Newton, Renzo Gracie. I mean, those are just the ones I know off the top of my head. He's Greco-Roman beast, Like, he's got amazing clinch game. In my opinion, he's the only person to ever win a round in the UFC against Anderson Silva. That may not be technically true. It's just my opinion. So if you research it and you want to call me out on it, go ahead. I don't give a shit. Jake Shields is his opponent. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Cesar Gracie's 13-fight winning streak. He's 24-4. He's got wins over Mayhem Paul Daly, Yushin Akami, Robbie Lawler, and I think he beat Carlos Condit. Not 100% sure. Look it up and let me know. This one, in my opinion, is real easy to call. Jake Shields, utilizes takedown and lay and praise on people. But in my opinion, the reason why Jake Shields has this fight is because they know he's leaving. It's his last fight on his contract. Henderson just walks into a middleweight championship fight. They didn't even do that with Fedor. I really don't see Jake Shields winning this fight anywhere. I don't think he can hold Hendo down. Hendo doesn't have great submissions, but he's got good submission defense. He's not going to be able to lay and pray Jake Shields. So I think Strikeforce's line of thinking is, we give him Hendo, we let Hendo demolish him, and then he leaves to the UFC with a loss on his record. And, he kind of goes out in a shitty way. I've never really been impressed with Jake Shields. I think that he's got the luck of a draw when it comes to opponents. And so I'm going to go Hendo, TKO, 3rd round. I think he's going to probably stop him with the ground and pound. So, those are my predictions for the fight. I missed UFC 111 because I was there, and I just linked up with Nick Marabella on Buddhasport.com, so I've been doing write-ups on there for my predictions. But, I didn't forget about you, YouTube. Speaking of Buddhasport.com, it's an up-and-coming website. Nick bust his ass to get it going. I'm a staff writer on there, so I put out articles, on a regular basis. Come check them out. I write up recaps, breakdowns, predictions, whatever it may be. So come check us out, woodsport.com. It's free to register, and we got forums on there, nutrition tips, workout techniques, and just a bunch of cool ass videos and articles by a bunch of MMA feeds. So once again, this is Matt. I appreciate you guys.